Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I am here for another story time video. I know I've been MIA for a couple weeks, but I tested positive for COVID, so I just wanted to tell you guys about my experience. So, as you may know, this newest variant, well, I think there's a newer one already, but the Omicron variant, everyone and their mother has been getting this variant. Literally before I got it, I knew multiple people who had it, and even since I've had it, you know, I've known other people that are still getting it. So it's honestly spreading like wildfire. So I got it January 1st, literally like New Year, and then like it just all started really bad. So I'm pretty positive that I got it from my job, because there were a couple of people in my department who had it, and literally the only place I go is work. Sometimes I go to the grocery store, but usually I just do Instacart, just so I don't have to go to the store. So like that's very rare, even like maybe once a month I go to the store. But yeah, I literally like don't go anywhere, just work. So I'm pretty positive that I got it from my job, which is frustrating because, you know, I need to work to make money, but then like, you know, the place I'm going to do that is like what got me sick. So I worked, you know, up until Christmas. I had Christmas Day off and the day after. Then I worked the whole week between Christmas and New Year's. So I worked New Year's Eve, my regular schedule. So I was out by like 1 o'clock. Came home, celebrated New Year's Eve. It was just Joey and I. We just stayed home and, you know, relaxed, whatever. I did take a nap. Otherwise, I would not have made it to 12. Went to bed like 12:30, 1 o'clock. Woke up the next morning at like 8 or 9, and I had off New Year's Day and the day after, and then I was supposed to go back Monday. Well, I wake up Saturday morning and I just did not feel right at all, and I pretty much knew right away it was COVID, even though Joey was like, it's probably another like sinus infection. I usually get one a year, and the last one I had was October, and like that's usually around the time I get them, like anywhere from like September to like November, I feel like, you know, when like the seasons are changing. So I was like, I don't think so. And well, I knew it wasn't a sinus infection. He was just trying to be like optimistic, but I was like, first of all, I had pretty much every symptom you could think of, but it started with joint pain, like back pain, the worst headache, and I had a fever for the first few days, and kind of like on and off throughout the whole thing I had fever. But it was horrible. It was like no pain I've ever experienced before, and it was horrible. So I was like, I gotta get a test. There was a snowstorm on New Year's Day. Not horrible, but we got about like, I think 6 inches. It's like 2 weeks later and it's already pretty much all melted. But you know, we were driving, trying to get tested. So the one place that I've gone to before has since closed and moved. So we went to the new location. They were closed because it was New Year's Day. So we had to wait till Sunday. So Sunday rolls around, we go to this place that supposedly had PCR and rapid. We waited in a pretty long line, but it went pretty fast. Maybe we were online for like half an hour, 45 minutes, and we got up to the front, and then they were like, we only have rapid right now. So that was kind of frustrating, but the rapids are like 85% accurate, they say. and I knew I was going to test positive. I was like, if I test negative, like, I will be shocked, because then I don't know what this is. So we do the test. We had to like self-administer it, so like that was kind of weird, because the other place, they like did it, like, you know, swabbed you. So like that was kind of weird, but did that, dropped it off, and since this place was so busy, because I think they're one of the only testing facilities around here, usually you get the rapid results within like 10 minutes, but they were like, it's gonna be like a few hours. So probably about 3-4 hours later, I got the email that said I was positive, so I texted my boss. Now this was Sunday, so I spoke with her, and she pretty much was like, you know, I have to talk to like the HR people and figure out the details, but she was like, I think it's like 10 to 14 days of, you know, quarantining. So I knew I was going to be out for like at least 10 days. So like I said, the beginning symptoms I had, and pretty much the whole time, I had the joint pain, muscle pain, back pain, headache, like the worst headache, and it was just like, it wouldn't stop. I took Tylenol the first few days, because that's when it was really bad, and it did help a little bit, but it was just the worst pain. The highest my fever got was like 102.8. What else? Just, you know, the really, really hot from the fever, but then also like chills. Also the whole like first week of the year, I would basically get up at like 7 or 8. I'd be up for like 2 or 3 hours and then just pass out. Just from nothing. If I moved from like my bed to the couch, which I pretty much stayed in my room. Joey started getting symptoms like a day or 2 after me. He eventually ended up testing positive as well. So it was kind of like whatever, but he was working from home, so he was out in like the kitchen, living room area working, and I would just stay in the bedroom. But you know, once he was done with work, I would like try to go out there and like sit with him. And just like doing that was like exhausting and draining. There were some days I didn't even shower, just because like I was just exhausted, and like it felt like my heart was always like racing. I did kind of like lose my sense of taste and smell for like a few days there, and like some things were like tasting weird, and like normally these are things that like I love, but I'm like it just like tasted weird. And even the first few days, once I was like feeling better, like some things were still tasting weird. Pretty much now I can like taste and smell, thankfully, because I know people that had COVID like when it first came out or whatever, and like to this day they still don't have like their sense of taste and smell, and I literally don't know what I would do if that was me, because like food is my life, so that would be really sad. So thankfully, even though I kind of did lose it for a second, I got it back, so that's great. But then almost a week later, that Friday, I started getting like the shortness of breath, and that also like terrified me. So it was pretty much like all day Friday, to the point where like Joey has asthma, so he has an inhaler, so he told me to like take a couple puffs off of that, and it did help. And I almost felt like using it again like later that night, but I didn't want to like rely on it, and I guess it had gotten like a little better. And then I had it for like half the day Saturday, like Saturday morning, and then by like the afternoon it had gone away, which thank God, because that was probably the scariest part, and the part I was most afraid of was, you know, the shortness of breath and just like not being able to breathe in general. So I had my humidifier running every single day, like all the time. I still use it now, but just at night, which is what I was doing before I had COVID. I just use it like when I sleep. But when I had COVID, since I was home all the time, I just had it running all the time. We got like this sinus rinse because our noses were congested. I had some like mild congestion, nothing crazy, but like I said, I did lose my sense of smell and taste like for a few days there. So doing the sinus rinse, and honestly, I've been back to work for like a week now. I went back last Wednesday. Today is Wednesday, but I'm off today. So I have been back to work for a week. The first few days were exhausting and pretty much just exhausting. I ended up being out for 11 days because I was cleared to go back on Tuesday, January 11th, but my fever ended up coming back. They pretty much said I could come back if I still had symptoms, which honestly doesn't make any sense to me, because it's like, you know, I work at a place that serves food. If I'm having symptoms and like clearly I'm still positive at that point, like why would you want me like working with food that we're like serving to the public? So whatever, but my fever ended up coming back, and they basically said that if you still have fever, that's like the only way you wouldn't be able to return. So my fever did come back, so I took like an extra day, and then it had broke, and then I took it Wednesday morning just to make sure, and I was clear. You know, it was like 98.6, 99.6, I don't remember exactly, but I didn't have fever, so I was good to go back. And yeah, I've been back since then. I don't think I said this, but I am not vaccinated as of yet. I'm not even gonna get into all that, but I just wanted to put that out there that I am not vaccinated. So I guess this could have been a lot worse for me. Thankfully, it wasn't. I mean, it was still really bad. Like, my boss asked, like, you know, what symptoms I all had, like the first day I returned from work. You know, she asked how I was feeling, you know, what symptoms did you all have? She was like, just fever? Or, and I was like, no, I had like literally fever, muscle pain, joint pain, headache, shortness of breath, back pain, you know, fatigue. Like, I would be up for like 2 hours and then take like a 4-hour nap, and I was still sleeping from like 10 to like 8. Pretty much was like about, you know, 9 or 11, and then sometimes I'd pretty much go to bed between like 9 and 11, and then I'd get up between like 7 and 9. So I was getting good sleep, but I was just exhausted. And so she was like, oh, so you like had the whole thing? And I'm like, yeah, pretty much. So it could have been a lot worse. It was pretty bad, and basically that's why I haven't posted in like, I feel like close to 2 weeks at this point, because I've just been like, you know, then going back to work this past week has been like an adjustment. But I'm gonna post this today. Today is Wednesday, so I am off. I'm gonna go home right now probably and get this up. Just wanted to keep you guys posted with where I've been. But I am doing a lot better, so you can expect me to get back to my posting every Sunday. I might be changing that day because Sunday's like one of my days off, but I seem to like always get busy doing something, and that's why I haven't been uploading on Sundays, and it's been like Mondays or Tuesdays. So I might be changing the day. I just have to see like what works for me right now. But like I said, just wanted to explain where I've been and tell my story with this, because it has been a rough start to 2022, but you know, I definitely am feeling a lot better. I pretty much feel like my normal self. Being stuck inside my house for like 11 days straight was pretty crazy, even though I am a pretty introverted person. Going back to work that Wednesday was really exciting because that was the first time I had left the house since the 2nd when we went to get tested. So, and I went back to work, I think that would have been January 12th. So literally like 10 days inside the house. So it was pretty crazy. I'm glad I'm feeling better. I have like a desire to like want to do things, and when I had COVID I just didn't want to do anything, so that feels really good. Thank you guys for sticking with me. I will be back to weekly uploading, just kind of gotta figure out a day that works best for me. But please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.